Greetings and salutations, everybody. We are back with more D&D Abeyance, and since it's Nick's game, I'll hand it over to Nick.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. We are returning to our sleuthy PCs who have gotten a lead of sorts on a recent Soul Not Reaped case by the name of Alex Hernandez, who they're going to see if they can find, with the help of the spirit of his pupper, Betty, that they managed to locate on the farm in the extension of the afterlife, where all pets go after they pass, because that's where pets go, to a nice farm where they have lots of room to run around. This is perfectly sensible, and I have no idea why anyone even is reacting to this news. So
I think it makes sense.
Yeah. Everyone's known this since they were children. Come on. So you guys are doing
even
that
state of matter.
You guys currently have the spirit of a lab that is accompanying you to go back into the physical world, but this is going to be a little bit complicated because this will be some spirits that have recently departed going back into the physical world. In order to do this, you guys need to do a bit of a check-in on certain stuff. And I will let you guys know up front, Gideon especially will know this, that Betty is going to just be a straight-up like ghost for this portion of it.
Right.
But the rest of you have the option through one means or another of assuming a temporary physical body while you go into the physical world. I am going to just let you know the options that you have available for this.
Okay.
If you want to go around as just soul forms, spiritual bodies, and not taking up physical space, that is fine. It would be the same as when Jerome and Tan went and did some poking around on their case at the start of the adventure. But as you are doing essentially what is the equivalent of a homicide investigation, if you want to interview people and stuff, you will need to actually physically appear before them. You will need bodies. In order to do that, everyone, if you can, tell me if you have some means of disguising your appearance, like if you have a magical ability or otherwise that lets you change appearance and assume someone else's form.
You mean like my at-will disguise self spell?
Yes, something like that. Because this is going to let me know what we can and what you guys can and cannot do, so that I can tell you what your options are, essentially.
Well, I've got invisibility and minor illusion, so I can make something I can like step inside of.
Okay, yeah, we'll run with that.
Not that Reiko's stuff has been, fully unlocked yet, but I don't have shit for that.
Okay.
I have, in fact, I have penalty to stealth by way of this whole thing, even though that didn't quite make sense.
We will actually have to address that point in a little bit.
Unsurprisingly, the new person doesn't know how to fit in.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, Jerome has is minor illusion, so he could let me. Like, I guess there are things, but I think it would probably be for the best that he stays in soul form for the time being, especially considering we've already hinted that he's, the one that's going to stand out the most if he is.
That's true.
Okay.
I can also inhabit the body of a giant tentacled spider, if that would be more useful.
Okay, good to know. And Tan, of course, being a changeling, can change his appearance at will as well.
Yep.
So here's what we're going to say. You guys need to do a bit of permission gaining anyway in order to go into the physical world, because you've got Reiko with you, and you've got some people in your party there in some form or another of being under house arrest, kind of. So what I'm going to say is Gideon, Tan, and Jerome, all of you guys can very easily go into the physical world, essentially at will.
Right.
You just kind of have to. It's like you guys have just a general pass that you just sweep over the scanner as you're going out the
Right.
door. Everyone else needs to check in some way. So
Yep.
Dantalion, you're still in this provisional Reaper kind of situation. You are under the supervision of another Reaper. There's got to be a check-in with you, just so that people know, okay, this guy is going to be going to the physical world. Reiko, you are a recently deceased person, so you definitely need to have permission gained for that.
Yep.
Oh, you don't say.
A little bit of bookkeeping. Let's see. So I'm going to just say that like you guys are just on your way out into the physical world, and you are going to need to negotiate this. It'll take a little bit of time that we'll just for the most part skip over. Anyone who wants to do the actual negotiating can give me a persuasion check in order to see what tools you are going to get at your disposal during this investigation.
Not it. I'm good at calling people out on shit. I'm not good at talking to people.
All right,
Okay.
Nick.
Yes.
Since currently Reiko is sort of my charge,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would not be amiss if Gideon were to basically, at least for the first time, basically actually make sort of seek permission for her to go in and see what resources we can get for her in this.
Okay. You go ahead and give me a persuasion roll, since you are very familiar with this system.
Yep.
And this is kind of your entire wheelhouse. We'll
Yep.
say you get it with advantage.
Oh,
You
even better.
cannot fail this roll, but
Right.
depending on how well you roll, you'll get more options
Right.
for your party.
All right, so I will make the call to go to the people I know, and here we go. Persuasion with
Summoned by
advantage.
some teenagers.
How's a 21, Nick?
21's pretty good. It's a lot better than that 6 you also rolled.
Yes. One of those is a 16. The other is a 1.
Right.
One is as bad as I can roll.
So what we're going to say is this. As you're going out there, as I said before, it is literally, there was no way, shape, or form that you're going to get permission for Betty to get a physical body for
Right.
this, because animals just in general, like they're too, especially dogs of Betty's breed, cannot be trusted to not be impulsive and cause problems if they are given a physical body
Right.
and they go back to the physical world. That's just not going to happen. In fact, you needed to get permission to take this spear back into the physical world in general.
Right.
It just wasn't going to really be a question, because it is directly related to the case that you're working on. With a 21, I'm going to say that you do have the option to, if Dantalion wants to, you guys can get him a temporary body for this. That's pretty standard for stuff that you guys have had to work on in the past, because you guys have been working together for a couple of decades at this point, at least. With Reiko, it takes a little bit of doing, but you can tell, like, as you're going about things, that you are making progress. You said you were going to make some calls. Did you want to take care of this stuff from your office? And make
I
calls
figured I'd do it
there?
from the office, yeah.
Okay, so you said about doing that stuff.
So
Can I do a
Gideon, other people can do stuff they want to do while Gideon is on the phone with people.
Yeah, we'll say that this takes somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour.
Fair enough.
And you guys, if you all want to get anything else ready while heading out there, you guys can let me know. So here are the options that you're going to have while you're going about your business. Peter, you've got your mask ability thing.
Mhm.
So you essentially can just kind of shift between stuff at will while
Yep.
you're in the physical world. You can assume disguises and stuff. Tan, same thing with your innate abilities as a changeling. Ash, Jerome, you have opted to just stay in spectral form. That's fine. You are a poltergeist. This is your specialty. Eric, Dentalion is basically being given a physical body. You can assume the physical body, or you can remain in a spiritual form. if you want to switch back and forth, you have to basically you can abandon the physical body, or you can assume it. If you assume the physical body, then you have it until you decide I don't want this anymore, and then it drops off of you. You cannot regain it until you come back to Limbo.
Okay.
And Reiko, that it's the same thing. Both of you will be given, if you want them, bodies that do not resemble you physically, so that you will just essentially be schlubs that people will not draw attention to yourselves.
Reiko is a little bit at odds with this idea because, on the one hand, it's incredibly practical. On the other hand, she likes the way she looks.
That's totally fine. If you don't want to do that, you can just go around in your spiritual body.
Mhm.
However, this is the tricky part for the two of you. Being in a spiritual form in the physical world for too long will cause some complications if you're there for too long. And part of the reason that people assume physical bodies is because they will actually act as proper vessels for your soul form until you return to Limbo. So just know you guys will have like a few hours to do stuff. If you want to remain in the physical world for more than a few hours, then you're going to need to have physical forms. That's probably not going to be a problem for you until you see how the case develops anyway, but I'm just letting you know that as a thing to know going forward.
I will put on the meat hazmat suit.
Okay.
Reiko will do so and complain that it doesn't fit, even though that's probably not how it works.
Question, actually.
Yes.
Something I had considered. Do the meat forms have to be like humanoid?
Do you want to assume, like, for example, like an owl body form?
Like an actual owl body, yes.
For your case especially, I will say that yes, you can do that. If
for the considering what's going on, that might be for the best.
There.
And he can still do some of his things if he has to, or he just abandon it past stuff if he has to. So
yes,
yeah.
All right, and then just a little bit of
Giant spider with tentacles.
Not going to happen. A little bit of housekeeping for you, Reiko. Unfortunately, Yoru cannot come with you for this.
I figured as such.
Maybe if Gideon had rolled a 25, they would have let it happen. But in this case, no, he's got nothing to do with the case. So it's a good time to probably drop him off at your place or leave him at the office, something along those lines.
I have contact information from the Weaver that made my outfit and whatnot. I'm going to cut her.
Is anyone
and
else
ask
having?
her to help?
I was about to say you're cutting in and out a bit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yep.
Ever since he did this alleged upgrade in the area, has been unreliable and unstable, and I really don't like it.
Well, you complaining about it seems to make it a little bit more stable, so maybe you should keep that up.
You have that name. It sounds terrible.
All right. Yeah, can you repeat what you were wanting to do for me, please?
Yes, I can. So Reiko almost certainly got the contact information of the Weaver that is evidently going to be my new best friend, and will arrange to ask her to check in on Yoru every so often while she's out on assignment.
All right. Yeah, you get in touch with Maple, the seamstress / designer / weaver / multifaceted clothing designer, and she agrees to do a little bit of house sitting, or come in and change the food dishes if you're not back within a few hours.
Yeah, just doing some cat sitting.
Yep. Everyone at the Fulcrum is used to doing this kind of thing because there's animals everywhere.
Right.
Right.
All right, and one more thing I'd like you to do, if you could give me a religion check, please.
Religion check, you say?
Is this
Yep.
everybody or just for Rico?
Just Reiko.
Okay.
Alright.
Can I get a reroll on that?
You can do that because it's been 2 days technically instead of just one. So 14.
That's bad.
All right. We're going to say that you gain access to your channel divinity now, and
At which point my actual class has been unveiled.
Fair.
and your 0 and first level spells, we'll say.
Ooh,
Ooh.
swanky.
I really wanted to make that check.
Yep. You did.
It's like, oh hey, I'm not just a glorified NPC anymore.
So yeah, though I haven't really necessarily like thought through like you're going to definitely need this spell going forward. It's
Right.
like, look, I'm just going to give you more tools. to
That's
play
totally
with.
reasonable.
Okay.
I'm functionally a first level cleric at this point.
Well, but slightly better stats on certain things, yes.
Sure.
Okay, so
Glorified
there's
first
that.
level cleric.
All right, so you guys are making preparations. You make the arrangements with Maple to look after Yoru. Dentalion, Jerome, Tan, does anyone have anything that they want to prep before you guys head over to the physical world to continue your investigation?
I don't think there's anything that Jerome needs to do. He has his spells ready. He doesn't have any otherwise special tools. Although,
And you're telling me that Jerome doesn't have a grappling hook?
Jerome would fly. Jerome don't need a grappling hook.
Then what good are you?
Just a normal barn owl, but it's carrying a grappling hook in its talons.
Listen, sometimes you just can't fly.
Grappling hook.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing, Eric.
Oh, I mean the owl element does also have a bit of crossover there.
Yeah,
So.
a little bit.
All right. Oh, okay. I'm gonna say, unless anyone has anything else you want to bring up, that you guys head to Miami to continue your investigation. You've got Betty in tow, who is doing that thing that dogs do, where they're simultaneously leading the way and also getting distracted and by everything and going off in the wrong direction, and then coming back and leading the way again. So,
Yes, well, you know.
okay, and you arrive in sunny Florida, where things are always nice, and there are alligators everywhere, and there is sun
And the humidity
and
is for shit.
I was gonna say always nice. It's Florida. It's gonna
It's
be
always nice. It's always humid. There's always hurricanes blowing through. There are alligators on every street corner. What else?
Okay.
people-
So as a recent visitor, I can validate that alligators are on every street corner in signs.
Oh, everyone's on meth and voting against the best interests.
Well,
that's true. Yes.
well, I personally get really upset when people say the first part of that sentence. I won't get into it, but
Nah.
No worries, dude.
Everyone's doing insane things that aren't happening literally anywhere else. That's definitely true. It's not like it has anything to do with the way stuff gets reported down here.
Oh, no, not at all.
it's not,
no.
it has nothing to
No,
do with the Freedom of Information Act that was passed in
just-
Florida, which explicitly makes all police records public domain the instant they're created, thereby allowing press to get information about arrests within 24 hours of them happening, because other states don't allow that. Hence why everything happens everywhere, but Florida's the only one that gets reported on. That's not it at all, though.
Nope. Anyway, now that we know all those things about Florida that are definitely true, what do you guys
Best
want
hero.
to do? So you have Betty with you, and Betty knows the path that she and Alex were walking on when when his memories ended at the time that he was briefly interviewed at Central. You also can have her lead you to his home or certain other important locations that he would routinely go to.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I'm going to make a suggestion, and people are welcome to. I would love to hear other suggestions. Obviously, my suggestion would be to go to where Alex lived to start with, since we do have the address. We got that last time.
Seems sensible.
And then
to me.
have Betty lead us to the beach or wherever it was that this all happened, and do the reenactment thing that Dantalion was suggesting last time. And then we can work it out from there. That's sort of my gut, sort of what we should start with. But I'm, as always, open for suggestions.
I
That's
agree.
basically what I had in mind anyway.
Yeah.
I agree because if we have to try to like make entry into the Alex's house, that might involve Jerome having to ditch the owl body to do something.
I will propose that we hopefully can make a side stop in Little Havana and get ourselves a Cuban frita, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
That sounds like somebody who's had one.
This is a good idea. So I might. I'm just gonna make a note of this. Okay. All right. So you guys are going to go to Alex's apartment. Betty can definitely take you there, even if there weren't records of it to begin with, which there might have been, but whatever. So, however,
I will say that along the whole way, Reiko is having observations about, this is the first time she's actually been in America, and this is not exactly how she expected it to happen.
No, it's definitely a route that most people don't take. So,
I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Considering the noted humidity of Florida, do these meat bodies actually have reception to that?
Yes. It's
all right.
probably
Then
weird.
Reiko is complaining a lot.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna. You know how humid it gets in Japan in the summer?
It is surrounded by water.
I'm gonna go with she's from Hokkaido.
I mean, it's still.
This has been previously established between us, I believe. Yes, but Skitch is correct. I mean, it's an island nation. It's surrounded by water.
Oh, sure. I'm not saying that it's not humid over there. Just like, whoa. This is a bit much.
You can be used to humidity and still hate humidity. That's true.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I do live on the coast. I may live in a desert, but I'm on the coast.
It is actually probably awkward for anyone who is assuming a physical form, just because you guys are used to just not having to deal with that kind of thing at all. But that is a thing. You guys approach the apartment, and now just to recap, who is currently like in a physical body?
Oh, Tan is rocking a Hawaiian shirt, buttoned up, nothing underneath to keep things as breezy as possible. Shorts, flip-flops, sunglasses. His hair currently is I'd say a dark brown, slightly wavy, but like otherwise just got an unassuming looking. Wearing sunglasses or like aviator sunglasses, and it's just sort of like strolling along like that with a messenger bag.
All right. Are you dressed as a native or a tourist? This is very important to me, Skitch.
I would say that Tan has been around in the physical world enough to dress like at least they're from the general area. Like they're not dressed as a tourist. I'll make that clear.
All right. As you say that to me, the alligators at the corners of your vision vanish because everyone knows that's not actually how things are. So,
like it's
some of the police reports also fade from your from your vision. All right. So you're in physical form. Jerome, you are in your owl body. Reiko and Dan are in your temporary physical bodies. Gideon, what about you?
Well, I am physical, but I'm also disguised. I suspect that the disguise spell has made me look like a somewhat schlumpy middle-aged man who is sort of the sort of collective consciousness view of what a private eye would look like, but about 50 years out of date.
Gotcha. All
so
right.
you're Limbo.
Kind of, but for the area we're in.
Oh, so you're
Miami Vice Columbo.
yeah.
Kinda, yeah, but like definitely not like No, Miami Vice, they were cops.
That's
That's
true.
That's true.
So you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt and pleated white pants.
Probably.
So,
is.
With a blazer over it with the sleeves rolled up.
Yeah,
so,
that's
CS
right.
so CSI Miami Columbo.
Kinda, but
Yeah, so both Gideon and Tanner wearing Hawaiian shirts.
Oh, I'm definitely
awesome.
Yes, mine is more. Mine's probably a bit faded and rumpled though.
And Tan is crisply pressed. He seems like he comes off as a person who's a local who works too hard to compensate for the humidity to make the fashion just look on point there.
All right, you guys.
Dentalian looks. Dentalian looks like Magnum PI.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Sure.
fair.
There you go.
You're like, this is still fashionable, right?
No, I didn't actually choose this. This is just what happens with the spell.
Right. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit complicated because you are approaching an apartment while people can actually see you. So I want everyone to make a stealth check. It's a group stealth check, basically.
Okay. Sure.
I'm going to go with Reiko looks like she is a student because she's kind of able to do that kind of thing. So she's only going to look. How do I phrase this? Not quite, dress clothes, but better than casual, if that makes sense. And it's just kind of be like, framing it as just like, oh, they're showing me around. I haven't been here.
So Tan rolls a 5. I'm going to assume, for a reason why his roll's poor, is that he looks too much like Tim Rogers from his Boku no Natsuyasumi review, and thereby is drawing attention to himself that way.
Okay.
Why
Reiko,
Rod?
you do roll stealth with disadvantage.
Okay, yes, that was my question.
We're gonna. Oh, that's pretty good.
No,
We're gonna classify that as you do look kind of weird amongst this group of people who all look out of date.
I'm just saying.
They are.
They are.
I do not look out of date. I will let you know.
No,
Because
Tan looks perfect for this.
Which is
time
why he
period,
stands
yes.
out.
Yeah.
I'm just
If
gonna say.
if everyone looked all awkward and weird, / we're an owl, then you would be fine.
I'm just gonna say it. Like this group of people and the college student, it looks like they're
All right.
We're a big dumb family. Some of which are local, some of which are not, and no one knows anything except like the one who actually quote unquote is.
All right, so you guys actually did pretty well on that. The majority of the rolls were above a 15. I'm going to just say is like, yeah, you managed to kind of just get into the apartment complex without at least anyone, taking more than a quick glance at you.
Mm-hmm.
And Jerome, you're, separate enough from the group that no one really takes notice of you. It is a little bit too early in the day for owls to be out. It's about 4 p.m., I would say. But you are a very quiet flyer, so you managed to just get by without attracting anyone's notice. Unfortunately,
I imagine that, like, if anyone did notice, like, oh, there's an owl in the daytime. Oh, that's odd. Oh well.
I'm also going to say that having Betty with you guys is probably very helpful.
It is
Oh, no,
actually.
Wait, she's invisible. But never mind.
Fair point.
Yep, I would have thought of that, but oh well. Fortunately for all of you, the apartment that you're trying to get into, it's not a closed apartment. All of the rooms in it, have exterior entrances. So you don't have to get into an initial hallway and then get into it. You just can go straight into the apartment. How are you going to get into the apartment?
That's a good question.
I'm going to Misty step inside and open the door for everyone.
All right. Give me another stealth check. All right. You wait until fucking
Well done, Nick. Well done, Eric. Well done.
yeah, shows me for bothering to test you. All right. Then Talion, you wait until the coast is clear. You take a quick look around yourself, and then you just teleport inside of the room, and you open it inside and let people in.
All right.
You look inside this room, and it is a pretty small but relatively cozy one-person apartment. It doesn't really have any more than 2 rooms, just the general living area / bedroom and a bathroom. There's enough room for a couple of kitchen items, but it's like, okay, there's a microwave. There's a coffee maker. There's not enough room for a stove or anything like that. And then there's a small sink, attached to just, why am I saying attached? And a refrigerator next to it. And that's basically it. There's no washing machine or any of those kind of things. It's pretty cramped in here, and there's not a whole lot of amenities, but it's cozy enough. And as you go in, Betty dashes inside, runs around everywhere, jumps on top of the bed, jumps off of the bed, jumps onto the bed.
Yep.
Tries to pick up her toys and can't.
All right. So Nick, Gideon's going to sort of quietly, and absentmindedly wander around, sort of glancing at stuff randomly.
Okay.
This is sort of into the passive investigation and wisdom perception bits for him. So,
all right.
That's sort of his passive investigates 19 and passive perception is 16.
I will also chime that Tan is casing the joint for different reasons, mostly because if he needs to do some sort of like message from beyond sort of thing, he just kind of wants to create a profile of what's going on here.
Okay, got it.
But yeah, that's sort of my.
You need me to roll anything for any of this?
That is going to be an investigation if you want.
You got. That would be a 16.
Nice.
My investigation itself is not super great, but I'm going to say that I'm going to be a good temporary assistant and aid Gideon's.
Okay.
And for Jerome, I'm actually gonna have Jerome stay outside and keep an eye out to make sure
Fair enough.
nobody tries to come into the apartment.
I'm gonna rifle through his drawers and stuff.
All right. What we're going to say here, Peter, since you specifically are saying that you're using a passive role just to look around and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not trying to actively sort of like touch stuff right now. I'm sort of trying to see what stands out to me mostly.
All right. So we're going to
anything that sort of sparks like that's odd.
So in that case, since you're not rolling anything, you can't really. There's not really a role that he's doing that you can help with.
I guess you
could help out Dan though.
Yes.
Okay, let's do that then.
So you can make that roll with advantage then, Eric.
All right.
Damn! 24.
All right.
Natural 20. Nice.
Good team. Good team up there.
I found out that he is he's in fact a spy for China.
He's a spy for Soviet Russia. That's right. I set this in the 80s, and you didn't know it.
He wait a minute.
Appropriately.
He's the one person who knows how to make Pano Cubano that actually isn't shit. Oh man.
They found Alex.
Oh, that's a loss.
They found Alex's chicken mask.
Wow, that's what it got. All right, congrats, Ash. You got it. You win this round.
It's so hard to like make jokes about Florida cuisine because there's like 3 food items you can actually define as being Floridian.
Listen. The Cubano is a treat. The local arcade does cheeseburgers served on Cuban bread. It's amazing.
Sure. You can do You can do Cuban sandwich, you can do grouper sandwich, or you can do key lime pie. That's about it. So
Everything else, listen. Everything else, we just have like a lot of stuff around here for tourists. Also,
Pretty much.
fried gator.
yes, that is true.
It is surprisingly good.
Yes.
Jerome, if you can just give me a perception check while this is going on.
Where is perception at?
All right.
Because he is currently in an owl, does he get the keen hearing and sight thing that owls have?
Sure.
All right, so this will be with advantage then.
Okay. 14. All right. You said about keeping a lookout. Hang on a second. Let me just do a thing here, just for my own sake. Just gonna do with this. Okay. All right. So we'll do this in an order that is beneficial for Skitch. So, all right, Gideon.
Yes.
You just kind of like casually look around the place. And you can tell that it's obviously well lived in, but it's kind of tidier than you would expect it to be for a guy, a young bachelor,
Right.
like Alex. It's pretty well kept. There's not like dishes piling up in the sink. They're,
Right.
Neatly put away in a dish rack and stuff. The bed's not made, but it's not super unkempt and filthy. The sheets are at least clean and stuff.
Right.
And as you notice that actually the sheets are clean, you kind of look around and you realize as you look at Betty kind of like dashing around her familiar place and stuff, you see her toys strewn around the place, that for a place that has a dog living in it, there's not a lot of dog hair lying around. Reiko and Dan, with your help combined, nat 20, you guys do some poking around. You kind of observe some of the same stuff that Gideon has, and when you get into the bathroom, you also do some poking around. And like the bathroom is a little bit dirtier than the bedroom is. But like everything is kind of like neatly organized on the counter. You see like stuff for contacts. There's all sorts of different like aftershaves and stuff organized in the medicine cabinet. There is a bottle. There's a couple of bottles of pills next to the sink with prescriptions on them that say they are from a Suncoast Pharmacy. There is stuff for like very careful grooming kind of tools, not just like a razor, but all sorts of different things. There's hairsprays and stuff, and like a kit for like at-home dyes and that kind of thing.
Seeing as how Reiko is more modern than anyone else, Reiko is going to check what kind of drug it is, and I would like to do a medicine check on that to see if she recognizes it.
All right, go right ahead.
13.
13. Let me consult my notes here just to make sure I get this right. Okay. God, my note document is getting a little bit too long. I need to better organize it. All right, you see that the label on it, reads like the typical prescription information. It's got Alex's full name on it, and it's got instructions on it to ingest one pill daily, ingest more in the case of a reaction. This is a prescription for fexofenadine, which you are not at first glance familiar with, but you kind of peel back the remainder of the label. You know how some prescription labels have like an additional thing you can peel back that's got more information on it?
Oh, that's not some. That should be all of them. If they're not, then they're bullshit.
It should be. Some of
No,
them
no,
are
no. I mean, like, that is a thing. Like, that is how they're done. I say, having done some pharmacy training.
Oh, I know. Like a lot of them have it. I should say it's just not 100% of them, but yeah, a lot of them have this. You're correct. When you peel back more of it, you get some more information, and it's basically some form of allergy medication.
Mm. It would seem that our friend had some sort of allergic reaction to something.
Huh.
I imagine Jerome can hear this, but is outside and also an owl, so probably should not say anything.
Hoot hoot.
You hear from outside Jerome trying to contribute to the conversation.
I just like to imagine it's just like, hoot hoot, Dewey Decimal, motherfucker.
I don't believe Skitch is back just yet, so
He doesn't have a diary or anything, does he?
not that you can see.
Okay.
Gideon will wander around a bit, and we'll eventually find a chair. I'm assuming. Okay, Nick, I'm making an assumption here, but if I'm wrong about this, feel free to correct me. Gideon will eventually sit down in a chair and then look over and see that he sat down next to the guy's laptop.
Yeah, there is a laptop in this,
Yes.
in this place, definitely.
Sort of sit down. Pokes at it with a disguised bony finger. Figures out how it opens. Looks at it. Reiko,
I was about to ask.
you are better with these computer things than I am. Gideon gets
Is that
up.
what that is?
I think it is. This is a computer, correct?
This is a computer. It's a laptop in particular. It's
Laptop?
a portable computer.
Okay.
You can bring it with you to other places.
So you
opposed
could,
to-
in theory,
Oh, wait,
sit with it
wait.
on your lap and use it.
You can do that, yes.
No way. Computers are like the size of rooms.
Not anymore.
Since when?
Oh, that happened.
Since the 80s?
Yes, the 80s.
There's a
When is it
computer
now?
in your guys. There's a computer in your guys' office.
Yes. We have, Gideon, Dan, we do have a computer in our office. It's much bigger than that, but
Yeah.
Isn't it on the floor though in the office?
It's on Reiko's desk at this point.
It's been moved to Reiko's desk. It was on the floor.
I was gonna say the art has it on the floor for some reason.
Well, Gideon doesn't use it.
I thought that was just another filing box.
No.
Incidentally, when I was a kid, I did actually have my computer on the floor.
At any rate, yes, 1980s. That's a year. What year is it now?
2022.
Huh. How time flies. Seems like only yesterday was 1980s, from what I understand. Anyways, yes. Do you think you can do something with that, Reiko?
Oh, easy.
Excellent.
She's already got it booted and whatnot.
There's a password screen.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
It's
Nick?
still booted.
Nick, Gideon, I want
Yes.
to make an investigation roll, see if I can find something that would give a hint to the actual password. This is the sort of thing
Okay.
Gideon is actually good at.
You can give me an investigation roll. Yes.
Excellent. Hopefully, I roll reasonably well on this for once. 14.
14. Very, very average. Yeah.
Totally dead average, in fact.
You basically just do some shuffling around, and you actually pull open a drawer
Mhm.
and find the manual that the laptop came with,
Mhm.
and find the default password, and that actually opens it up. Seemingly, Alex was not a guy who cared very much about cybersecurity.
I had a thought. And this would kind of undermine what Mecha just did. But I like to imagine that the password screen comes up and Reiko just presses enter and it goes.
See,
I have genuinely done that.
Windows security has gotten better since the early 2000s. That doesn't work anymore.
see, I was sitting
That
here
did
thinking
used to work.
I was here thinking it'd be like Betty Goodgirl or something for the dog.
Not even that.
No, the password is in fact likely admin.
I'll put it to you this way. There is probably not anything of actual value to a person on this computer, and they are the only person who would have access to it unless their home was broken into, in which case this would not be the most valuable possession that they would be worried about. It would be their dog.
Right. At any rate.
Okay, so you start looking into the laptop. Reiko, if you're the one with the computer, you give me the investigation roll. You can make this with advantage because you know how to navigate a computer.
Thank you. I forgot to press shift.
You got a freaking dirty 20, so that's pretty good. You pull open Alex's email records and stuff. You get what look like a lot of spam, honestly, that he hasn't bothered to filter through.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Various things first, related to the products that you've seen in his bathroom. There's some sort of like workout program that he is subscribed to. You get some stuff from work several months ago congratulating him on not actually like a promotion, but like a bonus thing that he received. You get as well a monthly confirmation of a prescription being confirmed from the Suncoast Pharmacy for the pills that you had found. There's not a lot of like dirty stuff in there. There's like occasional like emails to people, but they're very short and to the point. For a Gen Zer, this is honestly a very underused piece of equipment.
Mm-hmm. So, in short, not finding a whole lot of interest here.
It's not a lot of dirty stuff. It's mostly just like, you do see like more of his like routine kind of take shape in terms of like how he treats himself. There's also some stuff on like, vet appointments and stuff. But you get the impression that like, okay, this was a guy who was kind of a person of routine. You don't see like impulse purchases among the confirmations of stuff.
Right.
And you also don't really see anything that indicates that he was getting into trouble of any kind. There's, not anything indicating like, X payment has not been received. He wasn't getting harangued by, a landlord or missed payments or anything like that. It's just one of those things where it's like this guy was kind of, in a way, phenomenally uninteresting.
Mm-hmm.
Almost suspiciously uninteresting.
Yeah.
As far as electronic records can be considered, at least.
Yeah, Reiko will report all of her findings thusly.
Now, I know where I would look next for stuff, but Gideon wouldn't think of this, and B, it wouldn't be here.
Okay.
The obvious answer is to go look at his phone, but that's probably at the morgue.
Probably.
Also, Gideon would absolutely not think of that. There is zero chance of that.
Yeah.
Would Rico think to look like in the cloud for like photos and stuff?
Ooh. You know what? That is a good idea. It's just literally something I just did not think about.
Okay, yes, she thought of that.
Okay. Thanks for giving the mercy and excuse that like you did a good roll, so I could just like now additionally provide you this stuff instead of having to just like and also. We're gonna say that this is probably something that also he himself did not really consider. Which is that a lot of the time nowadays, if you have a phone and you take a picture of something, that it just automatically uploads it to the cloud and you have to opt out of that stuff. It's very creepy. And
Yeah.
so you managed to get into, the equivalent of his, Google Photos account or whatever. And you see a bunch of stuff that, he's taken at work. Which looks to you like this incredibly vibrant, distressingly bright, and happening club with many, at least somewhat drunk people in them. You can have Rico make me a. What's a good roll for this? I guess we'll call this a history check.
Okay, my history's not terrible.
19. Yeah, you actually you see like a couple of selfies that Alex has taken with some people that you recognize from like maybe some commercials that you've seen. Those kind of things where it's like, a celebrity, does a commercial in like a different country just because. So you've seen a couple of people he's taking pictures with on TV. So you get the impression that, okay, the place that Alex is working is actually a pretty high-end place. You also, of course, just see some, freaking pet pictures, lots of stuff.
I'm shocked.
Of, Betty digging a hole, finding a thing, running around on the beach and stuff like that. There are various pictures of him like experimenting with different hair and beard styles and stuff like that. You also see a couple of pictures of him just kind of like goofing off in the same kind of like, party atmosphere kind of style of him doing, some casual hits off of a bong with people at a party, that kind of thing. So yeah, something that would probably get him in trouble if he knew where this stuff was going. But it's not like he's taking pictures of himself, robbing a bunch of retirees or anything like that. So let's see, is there anything else that would show up on there that he would necessarily take pictures of? You rolled a 16 on that intelligence. You rolled a 20 investigation check. Yeah, okay. Let me think about this. I actually do need to think about that this one aspect a little bit before I give you another detail, because I'm just trying to think if there's a not if it would show up, but if it would be something that would be beneficial to you to give you, basically.
Right.
While I'm thinking about that, Skitch, you're back?
Yeah.
Okay. You had asked specifically for stuff that kind of help you get an image of, Alex's life.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stuff that Reiko is looking at now is going to give you that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Also, let me figure out. I need a minute to just figure out how to construct this in my head.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want to talk amongst yourselves for a little bit, I'll just think about this. I'm sorry, I just gotta arrange in my head.
It would appear that our quarry is rather sociable in his working environment.
Indeed.
Actually, just realized
a bit irresponsible.
Sorry, what was that sketch?
I'm just thinking really. When Tan is speaking, should he have the reverb when he's in the human form or not? I don't know.
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Not?
It's like, well, Tan will just sort of say, While true, I would say characterizing our subject by referring to him as Quarry is a little eccentric, but yes.
Well, we are on the hunt.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is this. Tan, everyone's kind of, like gathered around the laptop to look at this stuff to kind of search for clues and everything like that. People are kind of focusing in on the stuff that you kind of already knew about him, or that is a little bit more tantalizing in terms of like, oh, this kid was kind of a bit of a party lifestyle guy.
Mm-hmm.
You, however, kind of as things are getting flipped through, you do occasionally see some images of when Alex would be just kind of out and about on the street. There are pictures of him, but there are also selfies of him posing with like a sandwich vendor, someone who's just has kind of this family owned store where they sell Cubanos. Like nice picture of him like smiling with the guy who owns the place while he's enjoying a sandwich. There's a picture of him with his dog Betty, and then there's this older looking woman who is walking her dog, and they've taken a picture together. And a lot of those kind of things is like there's a lot of evidence that this guy clearly had a lot of just like nice neighbors that he got along with as well. And so it seems that besides just like, okay, this kind of flashy job that he worked at, these people that he partied with and stuff like that, there are more people that are familiar with him and quite evidently got along with him beyond that.
Yeah, Tan is looking at this and like his mind is almost like off kind of the conventional case entirely. It's like, normally I'm planning on how to send a message to an individual, but now it feels like the most appropriate thing would be to somehow send a message to the community. But how?
Well, we're trying to find out more about this guy and what could have killed him, honestly. So, we know he worked for some sort of, I'm guessing some sort of media company?
He was a server at some sort of nightclub.
Okay. So he worked for a nightclub. Maybe you saw something there and someone offed him?
That thought occurred.
Technically possible. He does seem to be something of an amateur photographer. Although, I mean, there are quite a lot of photos, and I would imagine that carrying that sort of photography equipment would be quite cumbersome and unpleasant to do. Unless that was a large part of your hobby.
It took me a minute for that to click what you were going for.
Yeah, I got that immediately. Okay, Reiko will chime in. Another modern thing. You can take a picture from your phone, which you can carry with you in your pocket.
Gideon will stop.
And also your phone's a computer now.
Wait. Right. Yes, they're portable phones were just coming. I remember that. I remember portable phones. They're. Yes. How would you work a camera to one of those little brick-like things?
I'm also just thinking, like, those things are pretty huge. Like,
yes,
big pockets must be a thing now.
I'm almost certain some of the selfies are like mirror selfies. She's going to point out.
Oh, absolutely.
She's going to point out those. That's a phone.
Ducklets.
Gideon will lean in, peer at the computer screen. I have seen those before. Yes, those are telephones.
Yes.
Interesting.
Oh, is that what everyone's always looking at? Okay.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Jerome's just sighing outside.
Meanwhile, Tan pulls out like his dummy smartphone. It's just like a thing of plastic and glass that looks like a smartphone,
Right.
but it does nothing, and just sort of like idly just swipes his thumb across the screen a few times.
It's one of those
like-
candy-filled ones you buy at the store.
Ah, that is a replica of one. Then I should probably add one. I should probably add one of those to my kit.
It's very useful if you don't want to interact with people.
Why would you not want to interact with people?
If you want to keep a low profile.
Oh, I do have other ways of doing that, but yes.
Yes.
Or you just turn invisible.
There are times you want to be visible but not interact with people, Dan.
Also, turning invisible at the wrong time might be
yes.
more conspicuous.
Yes, there's that as well. But at any rate, okay, this is more a thing that just people do then if they've got access to if most people seem to have access to a camera at will.
So this leads me to wonder then. So as far as we could tell, if we were going to assume that a specific individual was the cause of Alex's demise, then it's really interesting kind of looking what we have here, because they seem to have a good relationship with their landlord. They have a good relationship with other people in the immediate community.
Yes.
And they seem to have a good interaction with patrons at the workplace.
Yes, I would not want to leap to any conclusions at the moment personally. It's a bit early to do that. I think we should probably
Everyone's got a camera and is always taking pictures of stuff. How much you want to bet there are pictures out there of what happened?
That is an interesting thought. I don't have no idea how we would find that though.
I don't know, I've heard about this internet thing. Is there a way you can find it on the internet?
Everyone looks at Reiko.
I guess
No.
it's theoretically possible, but I don't know who would photograph themselves about to make a hit and put it on the public internet.
I should introduce you to some particular subreddits.
Yeah.
Out of
I knew a couple
curiosity, are there
guys.
other cameras around that would just happen to be like I imagine someone might have just filmed some security camera.
Yeah.
That yes,
My
something
only
like
thought-
that, yes, possibly.
My only thought on this is that if someone were able to have photographed the incident when it happened, is there not a police report on what happened?
Possibly. Something to look into. Why don't we go to the location where he passed and see if we can get some more information there first?
Yeah.
All right.
I think we've found what we can find here for the moment. Jerome, is there
Okay.
anyone outside?
One important thing, Nick. I need to find out what is Alex's favorite Cubano place. Okay, I got to make sure to know which one is his favorite from the information.
All right. You clock it.
Perfect, got it.
I'll think of a name in a second.
I'll look up names while we're looking.
Also, he's allergic to something, and there's not much dog hair around. Interesting. Anyways,
Yeah, so you guys can go ahead and set off. You wait to get the all clear from Jerome,
Yep.
which I think that we'll just kind of like Ash use your earlier role as like just kind of your constant thing while you're keeping watch for everyone. So you're able to give everyone the signal for all clear so that you guys can get out of there without drawing much attention to yourself.
excellent.
So Betty is going to essentially lead you guys on the path that she and Alex went on for their walk the day that he vanished.
Right.
So you guys start off kind of heading, down the street. She's trotting along, and kind of you guys can actually give me like a general perception check as you're
Absolutely.
going about this.
All right. I will roll it, but I also note my passive is a 16.
Do that with advantage.
Passive is a 15.
Well, I rolled better than my passive.
That's exactly what I got.
19.
All right.
I do like the observant feat, though. It is a fun feat.
It's good.
Gideon and Reiko, you guys come to the realization as you guys are going along this path that this is kind of a path that's been carefully chosen because it avoids areas that are too crowded. Miami, of course, is a very popular place, very
Right.
popular tourist place. So while it does, go along some public areas, in general, it seems as though it kind of like goes along some side streets and stuff like that, so that he's not bumping into as many people along the way.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
You're a group of five, well, a group of four, I should say, that are walking down the street, and you're not, like having to carefully work your way around a whole ton of people
Right.
as you're going about your investigation.
Interesting.
And Reiko is definitely going to take note of this because, she's from Japan. That is a very vertically built nation.
Mm-hmm,
So anytime it's like, oh, there's less people around here than on like the main streets or something, she will notice it.
Mm-hmm. You kind of start off going through like more of an urban area, and after a while, this is a pretty long walk actually. But after probably like a mile and a half or so, you do come by a pretty busy corner. Like you stop going down side streets and come to a place that does have a lot of foot traffic briefly. And as you do, Betty kind of just very briefly pauses and kind of points her nose at a place and says, "That's the place that Alex smells a lot like." And you just kind of see this building with a lot of bright lights on it, and there is a sign that doesn't have words on it. It's this kind of curving symbol that looks sort of like an M that has a tail on it.
Oh, geez.
Like a-
No, I know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Frick, which is it? It's not Virgo. It's the other one.
Scorpio.
Mercury.
It is actually Virgo.
It is Virgo.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you say that, you recognize that it's Virgo. I'm just going to say, like, that's just,
Mhm.
convenience.
Okay. Yeah. Virgo's not the one with the arrow.
No,
That's why that threw me.
as for the symbol or for...
Yeah, Scorpio has the arrow at the end of the tail, but Virgo has the other M symbol. Yeah.
Yes, you guys. Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the symbol that you see. After you pass by that place, then you go back down. Yeah, the sign that says Virgo, or doesn't say Virgo, but it is
Virgo.
a Virgo
But
symbol.
it is Virgo, yes.
Yeah. I posted it in there. It's funnily enough, it actually kind of looks like the nay syllable in Japanese.
Yeah, a bit. You are then led, down some more side streets shortly after that. And then it starts to like get less and less urban. You go out to like the beach area, but again, it's less crowded beaches. There are, Miami is like basically a peninsula that has tons of tourists on it everywhere. So instead of actually going along the coast, there are a lot of places where like you guys actually start to go across like dunes and stuff for a bit instead. Trying to get out of the way of people and stuff like that. And while you're out among just kind of like not really plains but sandy hills with bits of shrub on them and stuff like that, that is finally where Betty comes to a stop and starts to circle around and indicates to you that this was where Alex was when their walk ended, basically.
Okay.
Okay.
Very well. I will actively be investigating the area for a bit. But I do have my... yeah, you know the deal. A 20.
Ooh, okay. Anyone else doing anything while you guys are...
Yeah, I'm basically saying this is where the walk ended. Therefore, this is the place I'm going to start sort of actively looking around at stuff.
Okay.
I'm
well,
having some D&D Beyond problems that you just Firefox problems in general. So
Okay.
bear with me.
Okay. While Gideon's spiraling out, I'm going to spiral in from further out.
Fair enough. Ooh.
Oh, howdy. I was going to say I aid either of you, and then you both just rolled like champions. So, like,
if you want to, we can throw another roll in
So-
there. But
So the,
I guess I'll just throw a perception and just call it a day.
sure.
Okay.
Shit.
All right.
All right.
I was gonna say, like, the main thing I find interesting is that this is a location that has not shown up in any of the pictures that we've had,
Nope.
right?
I don't think so, at least.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could make a perception check for me, actually, Skitch.
Okay. Like, just a 10.
10. Nope. Not as far as you can tell. All right. So you guys start to examine the area. God, your rolls are so good. All right. All right, here's what we're gonna say. So I'm gonna tell you guys what you don't find.
Fair enough.
You do not find any signs of violence
Okay.
or a struggle.
That's fair.
Okay.
You know, you guys know all the typical, like, okay, if this guy suddenly disappeared, and you guys are currently already like, maybe he saw something and so he was attacked. You don't find, like the bullet casings or anything like that, traces of gunpowder or anything like. You don't see bits of dried blood anywhere or anything.
Mm-hmm.
However, you do, as you're carefully looking over everything, see some indications, because, and keep in mind that, this is like a sandy area. So there's not a whole lot of this because it's freaking sand. And people walk over this stuff all the time.
Right.
And that it's shifted and unsettles and stuff like that. However, you do eventually realize, like, okay, this is the path that Alex was taking because you were just led along it. And so you're able to see kind of the area where, all right, here's where someone was running. Here's where they stopped running.
Mm-hmm.
And then by going out from that, you can see that the body was moved. And, a new trail kind of like gets into your eyes. It's not like there's a clear set of footprints that suddenly appears and then goes off in a different area. But you're able to see traces from, like, little bits of, like, the grass are just like discolored and bent a bit and stuff like that. And so you're able to figure it out that way.
Mm-hmm.
So someone came by here and physically moved Alex's body.
All right.
You are not clear on if they went back the direction that they came or if they went in a new direction. However, Reiko rolled a fucking nat 20 on her perception, so I am going to say that because you have been asking about this very specifically, that as you're looking around the area, Reiko, you spot a very small building that is within a few hundred feet of this area that you think would have line of sight to any incident that would have happened here.
Mm-hmm. Rico is going to get the attention of Gideon in particular and will point it out. That place might have a security camera.
Ah.
And we'll start to head over there. Mostly just being like, hey, handler, I'm going there.
Yeah.
More than
That's fair.
anything
That's
else.
fair.
Gotcha.
All right. Gideon will sort of look around, nod, take down a couple quick notes about what he's seen in the area, close his notepad, and follow Reiko.
Okay. All right. This place is kind of like general beach supplies store. It doesn't seem like it's got a specialty in any particular thing. Like it's not a surf shop.
Right.
It's also not really a tourist trap kind of place. There's an assortment of all sorts of stuff just for people on the beach come by and they might come step in and buy something. There's, snacks and drinks and kind of stuff. It's almost like a gas station in that regard. But also there are various things like you can get some, freaking sunscreen here, bug spray because it's Florida. You need bug spray, water, that kind of thing. So you guys step inside. Bell rings when you come in, and there's this guy with a deep suntan and like a vest over a tank top kind of look, very like casual clothing for a guy who's working this place, and he just kind of gives you that very casual, welcoming and yet also dismissive half nod,
right,
as you guys come in.
All right. Give me a second. I'm trying to think of how I want to approach it. I'm gonna start off just sort of by sort of looking around the place a little bit. It's a shop, right? You said that. That's what you said. All right.
I know what I'm going to do.
That's fine.
Okay.
Do you want me to start with that?
Yeah, go for it. I'm Gideon is
gathering
his thoughts and looking at things that are for sale as a way to just sort of distract him, to let his brain sort of process things in the back while he's thinking.
Okay. Seeing as how Reiko knows what a modern security camera setup would look like, she's just gonna kind of like case the perimeter of the place and see if she sees one.
Oh yeah, there's they're in the locations that you would expect. There's one that's watching the door, and you can tell. This is such very obvious stuff that you don't even need to make a perception roll for it.
Right. All right. So we're not on a dead end there. That's not a goose chase. All right, confirmed.
There's a camera that's watching the front door, and you can see that the front door has the markings on it to indicate the heights of people that come in, so that they can be readily identified, later.
Right.
There's some mirrors in the corners so that whoever is at the desk can watch the aisles. And there is a camera that is watching the register as well.
Right. All right. Reiko will quietly report this to Gideon.
Mm-hmm.
How long ago and what time of day did he disappear?
You're not 100% certain. You know that it was 2 or 3 days ago that this would have happened.
Yeah.
And you also know that since this would have happened while he was out on a walk or run, that would have probably happened in the beginning of his day, which could be in the morning, or since this is a guy who worked at a club, could be in the middle of the afternoon.
Right.
Right.
So.
I'm gonna walk up to the clerk.
Okay.
Hey, hey, how's it going?
It's all right.
Hey, I'm looking for a friend of mine who just kind of dropped off the face of the earth. He used to come running down this beach and stuff, and you don't know if you saw him, and I'll describe Alex. Usually had his dog Betty with him.
Oh. Yeah, sweet kid. Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't seen him for recently, have you?
Give me a persuasion check.
persuasion.
Okay, it's a
20.
good roll. He peers at you suspiciously for a moment and just kind of like his eyes kind of go up and down at you. And he concludes. Actually, make an insight check for me.
Testing. Am I coming in?
Yep.
You are Ash. Yes.
Yeah, I think Firefox just took one of those like dubs where you have to do a full reboot to get it to work again.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Dan, you can tell this guy briefly looks at you, looking for a person that he knows and asking about it. And you can tell part of him goes, is this guy a cop? And then he looks you up and down and concludes, no, because his disguise would be too obvious because you look like Magnum PI. So instead he just goes like,
Tom Selleck.
right. So instead he says like, was he in trouble?
I don't know. I haven't heard from him in ages. I was supposed to meet him like a few days ago, but like there's no one answers his apartment or anything. I'm kind of worried.
That is going to be a deception roll from you.
That is, in fact, something I'm actually good at.
Okay. 60. Okay. I don't know, honestly. He comes by occasionally. Comes in with his dog. Buys some water and that kind of thing from me. Every now and then, we say a few words. You can give me an insight check as well while he's talking about this stuff. 4. I mean, it's up to you whether or not to take him at his word, basically, with that. But he describes just kind of like, sometimes he comes in and hangs out. He might say a few words, talk about how the Dolphins are doing, kind of thing. Which I don't know if you know what that means, given your
they are pretty
history.
Were the Dolphins a thing back then?
Well, we've concluded that your character is probably been in Limbo for about 50 years at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, they would have been around in like 1972. Yes.
Okay.
They had their undefeated season in 1973. So
yeah, you might remember that. In fact, so it's possible. So.
Yeah. So, quick question: is there a number for mortals to contact Limbo, so that, like, I'm investigating something. If he knows anything else, can I give him a number that he can call and reach us at?
No.
Okay. I mean, I know a ritual I can give him, but that's going to be really weird.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. You could. All right. So, Eric, you and I have discussed a certain human contact that you may have.
Right.
You could give him the contact for her, and she could report it to you. It might arouse suspicion for him to contact her when he finds out who she is.
Right.
But if you wanted him to provide that for you, that is an option.
Yeah.
I mean, if any of us had money, I would just say go buy a burner account, set up a phone, and just leave it plugged in somewhere.
What's money?
What's that?
Yeah.
Actually, I know what money is, but like, I don't have any drachma on me. So I mean, what do I do? What do you do?
Well, and also the idea of a burner phone is probably foreign too.
As far as Gideon's concerned, money is small small coins, usually metal, like actual metal as opposed to alloys.
Okay.
I'll let you. we'll come back to that for a little bit. What is everyone else doing?
All right, I have a plan,
um,
but I need to wait for everyone else to leave the store before I do it.
Okay,
But
Sketch.
Tan was never alerted to this thing, so Tan is not in the store, and Tan has gone off, has found the most important thing in his immediate mind, which was the preferred Cubano place for in question here, which is Mary's Coin Laundry, which is a few blocks away on Coconut Grove.
all right.
And somehow is like back around the scene, but like near the Virgo like building, just somehow got a Cubano, and it's just working on that. And there will be no explanation as to how he bought it. I will refuse any questions
That's
on
fine.
that front.
Okay,
So
hang on 1 second, please. Can you bring me through that again? Where are you currently located?
I'm currently, so basically the whole party was led over to that building with the Virgo sign, right?
You
Right.
guys did pass by it, and Betty noted that Alex smelled of that place all the time.
Right. Yeah, I think that was the last place where I felt like the party more or less stopped, started casing the area, and then the other building was found, or is that later on in the walk?
Okay, we got to the part the beach area where Alex stopped.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, so basically, Ken is outside and within like a block of where the building that the trio are in, but he
Okay.
is but he has been Cubanoed accordingly and is working through that.
Gotcha.
That is
Okay,
quite the
so
verb.
you guys all went off to this supply/convenience store. Tan instead found another location that is on Alex's normal running route, which was the Cubano place. You got that, and now you're just kind of like back outside. Okay.
Mhm. It's also it also, to be clear, Mary's Coin Laundry is not only a place to get a Cubano, it is actually attached to a laundromat.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
Sure.
no, and this is a real place. I'm just pointing this out. This is an actual place in my
And
head.
you say all that stuff, and it's like, yeah, that makes sense to me. So,
Fair.
No, I can believe it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Jerome, you were saying something?
okay, I actually now that I know we haven't gotten to the place where Jerome disappeared yet.
Where Alex disappeared?
Yeah, Alex disappeared. I'm sorry.
Alex disappeared. Sorry, you were having like some computer issues and stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, you guys arrived to kind of this open area that was along some sand dunes with some, kind of grass growing in them and stuff like that. What was found by your investigators when Betty pointed out that Alex had disappeared here was that it seemed as though he had been walking, stopped, and then someone came from a different direction and retrieved his body, and then they were gone, but you can't tell what direction they went off in.
Well, they couldn't, but Jerome is going to fly up as he is, because he is, in fact, an owl, and look for any like nearby areas that might have made a good hiding spot for this.
Okay. If you're up in the air, that's going to be a perception check.
All right, which is fine because I can do that with
18. Okay. You don't see a place that would necessarily be good to stash a body, but you do see that this area is not too far from, because like this is like just kind of like a sandy area where just like people could walk along, but about a quarter of a mile from here there is like general parking space, so it is possible that the body could have been moved to a vehicle and then taken somewhere else from there.
All right, Jerome is going to fly down there. And how long has it been since Alex has disappeared?
As far as you guys know, 3 days. 2 or 3
days. Okay, then.
I think it's been 3 days at this point because, like, evidently Reiko died the day after he did, and that was like 2 days ago.
You died. You died a day ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been either 2 or 3 because the file came in the day that you were going to die, basically.
Okay.
All right, so Jerome's going to fly down there, and like, hopefully it hasn't rained in that time or anything, and just look to see if there's any noticeable like blood or like things for like a car.
Hopefully it hasn't rained
in
in
Florida.
Miami.
In Florida.
Yeah, I'm over here like I'm in on the joke, and like I don't live there.
Ironically, it has not rained in 2 weeks.
No,
Wow,
it's-
what? We could never get into your car without it raining.
It's
Well, we
actually-
just had a hurricane. It dried up
Yeah.
the entire air.
Mm,
All right, I
And
guess
it's-
that tracks.
and it's brisk now. It's actually kind of chilly. Yeah.
It's delightful. Okay, it has been delightful. It's been dry and like and mild. It's like early autumn in Ohio. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy because usually it doesn't get like this for another month. But yeah.
right.
Okay, so you are going to be investigating this parking lot then. So give me while you're over there, give me an investigation. Also, just make a stealth check again.
Okay, let's do
You're-
the stealth first.
You're an owl and it's like 5 p.m. So
And owls are not super common in Florida, anyways. So
that's
Well,
true. Yeah.
they're not super uncommon either.
On the beach, it's pretty weird though. So
All right, so somebody sees an owl, but like that's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right, now
So-
investigation. Should I do this one with the advantage as well, since I'm still in the owl? And I have owl
do
senses?
owls get advantage on that?
Oh crap! I think this thing closed. I think it might only for perception. Player's handbook.
By the way, Nick,
Yes.
I have modified my plan.
Okay.
Gideon is going to buy a bottle of water. Well, no, it's not. He's going to basically sort of nod, and I'm going to say quickly to sort of under my quote breath end quote to Dan and Reiko that I'll be right back, but I won't. But it'll be a little bit different.
Okay.
I'm going to step out. I'm going to leave the building. Sort of walk down the street around and sort of duck sort of out of sight, and modify my disguise so I look actually different.
All right.
I do think that Gideon would actually end up seeing Tan in the area while in the process of doing this.
Gideon will notice that Tan has a sandwich.
Yep.
All right,
Will
lived his
blink,
best life.
shrug, and continue on.
okay. I have
All right.
checked. It is only wisdom checks, like perception. So
Okay.
just a straight investigation.
Because that's intelligence based. All right. That's a very good investigation. Okay. I'm going to clock that. We'll come back to you on that.
All right.
All right. You're doing that. First of all, Peter, give me a stealth roll.
Sure. Here's hoping that I don't roll terribly. I rolled really well, 22. Okay.
All right. No one sees your appearance change. You manage to duck into a like perfectly sized alcove that no one sees you duck into,
Yep.
and then come back out. Like you avoid any exterior facing security cameras when it happens, and you look as if your current appearance just wanders off somewhere, and someone unrelated comes wandering back. What are you just why? What? How are you disguising yourself?
I am okay. So I'm trying again. As usual, the disguise just makes me look like I sort of am a slightly somewhat rumpled older dude, sort of middle-aged older dude that feels like he should belong in the area. I'm not going for anything in particular, personally, but I will say that my intent is I'm going to be going in to try to convince the guy behind the desk of something, but I really couldn't do it if I didn't want to look like I was part of the group that was in there already, because that would raise some suspicions, I think.
Gotcha. You don't want to.
I don't want to look like I'm actually part of this group at the moment.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Yes. Okay. So you do that. You come back in. What do you do?
All right. So I will walk in. I will look around. I will wait for a lull in conversation between Dan and the guy behind the counter. I've also made it look like I pace the look or wander around a bit outside, sort of looking around and looking out over the street for a little bit. Nod, reach in, take out my notepad, take some notes, and then head inside.
All right.
I'm gonna give him my my contact's number. It's just like, hey, I lost my phone earlier today, but she can let me know. If you can remember anything, just give her a call. She's a bit crazy though, but yeah.
All right. Give me a persuasion check.
It's perception, persuasion.
16. Okay. The guy kind of like blinks at you because I want to just like recount to you. You asked if this guy was missing, and then said your phone was missing, but to then let someone he doesn't know about this by calling someone else who's kind of crazy. So that just all that together is a little bit weird, but you know, like he just kind of like shrugs and
Yeah.
It's exactly weird enough to come across as entirely honest.
yeah.
This guy is it's things are this guy's clearly obviously concerned and is just kind of out of his element.
I have worked at the front desk of places where people have made weirder requests, and it's just because they're making your weird request. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you do that, and okay, so Dentalion kind of like gives the guy the contact information for your contact, and then you kind of like slide over, and Gideon after an appropriate time.
I'll wait a little bit and sort of then walk. Basically, I'll wait for it to be sort of for Dan to sort of step away before I walk into the building. So I'll walk in, look around. I will give the appearance that I'm sort of casing the place because I kind of am.
Okay.
Nod. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
I have a bit of a minor request for you. I am doing an investigation into some disappearances in the area, and it looks like you have some security cameras facing out over the beach. Would you mind would you mind terribly letting me take a look at some of your security tapes from the past couple of days?
Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
With disadvantage, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm willing to accept that this might not work, but I was with disadvantage. Fair enough. And that's the wrong sheet.
This is also a convenience
16.
store, right?
Holy shit!
16.
Gideon is actually
Damn.
good at this shit.
Damn.
All right, Peter.
Yeah.
The guy is not immediately hostile to you.
Good.
However, he looks at you, furrows his eyebrow, and he says, "What are you, some kind of cop?"
Not exactly, no.
All right. Even so, he folds his arms and looks at you, and he says, "What kind of disappearances?"
Well, I will go into the one. I will. Alex is disappear. I will not like name Alex, but I will say something along the lines of what happened to Alex, and then a few other people in the general vicinity. I'm just sort of like people in the general sort of this part of town. Just like, and Alex. I will use Alex as an example, but not naming him or anything like that. They've been reported as having coming down to this beach in the recent past and have gone missing. So.
All right, let me do.
And
Part of me just realized
I've been
something.
engaged to
sorry.
look into this.
Okay. Okay. That's good for you.
Okay.
Part of me realized something on the side here, but I'll wait till after this gets resolved.
Okay. All right. Hang on. So I just rolled a 1 for this guy to put together that you guys are working together and that you're both talking about Alex, and he rolled a natural 1, so he does not put this together at all.
He has just hit the air. There's just the very fragrant smell of marijuana.
I just realized something, Nick.
Yes.
If there's been a trend of people disappearing in this area, I just realized Tan is making himself into a fucking mark in all of this, isn't he?
There's not a trend of people disappearing in the area.
That
If
getting
there
kind of made up out of
was.
whole cloth, but
Actually, speaking of which, you can give me a deception check, and since I just rolled a nat 1, you can roll it with advantage.
good. That's a help, actually. Actually, I'm not terrible at deception. That entirely because that yeah. 15.
All right, you roll a 15. Okay. Every time I have you guys do something, I don't know how it's going to go.
Well, that's the way dice work sometimes.
It is. Okay. All right. So let me think about this.
That is, by the way, the only lie Gideon has told so far.
All right. So I'm going to say, since that you have successfully deceived this guy into believing your story,
Okay.
that there have been some disappearances and you're looking into it. Okay. You have also said that you told him that you are not a cop and you had a pretty good persuasion roll despite everything.
Yeah.
So we're going to say, all right. So give me one more persuasion check. This one's just going to be straight.
Okay. 11.
11.
Well
okay.
below average, but whatever.
All right. All right. I don't know about showing you my security footage here. That's that's for me. That's in case someone, goes crazy and steals something
enough.
from me.
If it helps, I'm only interested in anything that might be caught through the camera facing out over the street. But if that's not amenable, that I understand.
All right, I'll tell you what. Around when is the last one that you can think of?
The most recent one was 3 days ago.
Reported 3 days ago. Okay. I'll tell you what. I've been trying to move these energy drinks, and he kind of slides a box out from underneath the counter, and you see these things with big letters on them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But not really a hot item.
I see.
You buy this box, I'll go through my footage, and I'll tell you if I see anything weird.
Okay.
Is Dantalion nearby enough to hear that offer?
You guys did not say you left the store.
All right. Okay, Nick.
Yes.
This is going to be one of those things I'm just going to... Have I been provided with, quote, cash for out in the real world or not? I'm
going to say that this is a reasonable thing that would have been provided to you if you had thought of it at the time.
Right.
So... just roll a d20 for me.
A d20.
And
right.
we'll use that to determine if
Absolutely.
you had just thought to request it at the time.
I have no idea whether I would have or not either, so...
Yeah.
10.
I'm going to say that... hang on. Let me look up something here.
Part of me was just thinking the idea of Tad just sort of walks in because he realized he didn't get a drink and it's just was going to just get something...
Okay. How much is this? That's going to be... Okay. You do have some expendable currency on you.
Okay.
You are going to be a little bit short when you page through it in order to buy the entire case of this.
Okay. I will reach in. I will pull out my wallet thing, sort of look in there. Well, this is all I have brought with me. Is this amenable? Do we have a bargain?
He kind of looks down at it. Give me one more persuasion roll.
Absolutely. Persuasion, not performance. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, he's like, sorry, go home, get some more cash, and then if you can make it, then we'll do this, okay?
All right. I understand, sir. Thank you for your time. I do apologize if I offended.
All right.
Gideon will nod and turn around and leave the store.
Just a little bit of free advice. Try not to talk so much like a cop when you're trying to ask for help, okay? It's not...
I see.
Yeah.
I would not know how to speak like that. Would not know how to differentiate that, but thank you for the advice.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there. It's like, what the fuck is that?
I have no idea what you're discussing.
Okay, yeah, just go. I'll see you later if you come back.
Indeed.
I was like, I'm like, I wonder if there's anything I can do to help out in this situation.
That's up to you guys.
That's up to you guys. I was hoping to leave windows for people to try something. That's most of what I was hoping for.
I was half joking about Tan walking in and being with his sandwich, being like, okay, I need something. I need to get something to drink, man. Like, this sandwich is making me thirsty, kind of energy.
It would not be the weirdest thing for someone who has asked for help to get some additional assistance from strangers in this case. Like, it would not be the strangest thing to this guy in the world for that to happen.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of rolling here, and I'm what can I do to sweeten the deal here?
Oh,
Well,
hey man, yeah, I can spot you a few bucks if you need to get those.
Oh, that would be most helpful if you could do that, sir.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, well, okay.
Well, if you want to, if Tan wants to chip in too, that's cool. I think Tan, if you would like to chip in like commentary here, that'd be great.
I had a more or less a joke in my head for the whole thing, but it's been kind of up. The idea being that Tan goes in, wants something to drink, and gets kind of coerced into buying a case of energy drink as an appropriate drink to go with a single sandwich.
Well, Gideon would not think to try to convince him of that. Dan might.
That's
what we're doing.
But would the shop, would the proprietor, would the owner of the shop think of that as an appropriate course of action?
Guys, when I woke up this morning, I didn't think they were going to do this scene at all. So
fair enough.
Again, like that's, but like that was just sort of the joke in my head of how Tan could conceivably enter the scene and use his portion of expendable income to help make up the difference for the case. There, it's just like, but
that's up to you guys to work out. I'm not going to like make judgments on like who can and cannot pull out their wallet and put down a few bucks.
I just want to make sure people had opportunity to say what they wanted to say. That's all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I guess the
like I'm trying over here, and like even if I dipped into the actual class features and etc. Reiko doesn't really have anything that would contribute to that, I don't think, and she's not a good talk person.
Yeah.
No, I can tell. I will also say, I can entirely see Dantelian picking up on what Gideon's doing, given we work together.
Yeah, I'm actually. There's one last thing I could think of as an interesting sort of thought here. Then let me just double check one thing from using one of Tan's features. Okay, I got a very silly idea here. Here's my pitch. All right, to smooth over this stuff here.
Okay.
I'll try. Well, one, Tan does have the Bark Inspiration stuff, which could tap into stuff, obviously.
Okay.
That's one thing. But he also has the Tales from Beyond feature, which I'm trying to think if there's anything that would actually be useful here outside of just having like some just stories to prat about to kind of like basically engage in small talk with the shop owner to be the least cop looking of the group in terms of just the way of just casually chatting things up while getting a drink.
I mean, that would be kind of easy considering you definitely look less cop like than these two. So
yeah. So, but I guess that's sort of just the thought process there of like trying to smooth things over, just sort of just finish off the deal after you get. He'll buy a Topo Chico and help pay for the case of energy drinks,
I mean, like to put it forward, like if we're talking about this from the perspective of the guy who is now convinced at this point that Gideon is not an officer, but seems to be like some sort of private investigator or
Which
something
is
along
largely
those
what
lines.
he's sort of doing, but yes.
And he is apparently investigating disappearances, which you have convinced him are happening, despite the fact that
Oh dear.
which may come up at some later point in this guy's life. If you would be, he now thinks that you need his help, and if you were to go to other people and say like, "Hey, can you give me a few bucks so I can finish buying this stuff?"
Sure.
That would not be the most unusual thing in the world to him.
Sure, fair. I'm not sure. Yeah. So if either Dan or Tan or both want to chip in offering, Gideon will absolutely accept the help.
Yeah, I will say then in that case there while you're moving to walk out of the place, all of a sudden you look back and see just Tan at the counter with like a bottle of like Topo Chico or something, about to buy it while holding the sandwich in the other hand. Just see that Tan is there, and Dan can also is going to be around to chip in as well. Just like,
well, yeah. If you guys want to, like, yeah, great.
Eric, do you want to engage on that front as well? Sure. Just like.
Hey man, have you tried these energy drinks? They're pretty good. You should get a couple.
Gideon will pause, turn around.
I mean, I was only thinking of just one bottle of something would be enough to quench my thirst, but several drinks might do a better job. Yeah, I think you're onto
Yeah,
something.
it's not like you can't like save one for later.
What is this commercial we're shooting all of a sudden?
1 or 12.
12 sounds about right. You definitely need 12.
You guys are making a deception check. I don't give a fuck. This is so weird.
I feel for this guy.
Wow. I'm going to invoke my reroll for this one here.
Go right ahead. Yeah.
That's a 13.
much better.
God, and not rolling particularly good here, but yes, that's the pair.
Selling it.
Dan, wow, 20. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right. He thinks this is weird, but not the weirdest thing in the world.
I was talking to him just a bit ago, so
Yeah.
Dan just sort of like Tan's just sort of like counting up a few of the cans. Just starts. It's like, okay, all right. How much for all these?
So he names a price, and keep in mind this is like it's a fair amount because it's a full on freaking case of energy drinks. So it's not like like a 12 pack of Monsters. I'm talking it's like those like 12-hour energy mini bottles, but they come but in like the display box. So it's a fair amount, but you guys do like together purchase it, and he finds this all to be very strange, but he's like, all right. And he goes over to this, like quote unquote computer. It's one of those things that basically exists in the store purely to monitor the security equipment. And he starts reviewing it. It's going to take him a little bit of time to actually go over this stuff because he's basically manually fast forwarding and rewinding through the footage of the day that you gave him.
So he's in another room at this point.
Well, I think he's at the.
We'll say that he is. We'll say that he's in like a small back room looking over the stuff with the door open so you can still keep an eye on the store.
So Reiko is going to slide over to Dan and Gideon. Can I have you go invisible so you can look over his shoulder?
I probably shouldn't.
And I'm invisible.
All right.
I'll go. I'll take a step outside, turn invisible, and come back.
Okay.
I was like, wait, like, I was afraid you go somewhere where there aren't cameras obviously looking at you and go invisible.
I did tell you exactly where the cameras were pointing. So yes.
Yeah. So yes.
I mean, Gideon can do that. It's just that not right now.
Right.
Right,
You're the one who asked him for this. So.
Right.
I feel bad for Ash and his internet.
Yeah, Ash's internet is clearly on fire.
It's like Tan was going to offer a portion of the Cubano to Dan, but Dan decided to just fuck off. So I'm just like, well, okay.
That's okay. I'm just gonna drink a whole bunch of 5-hour energy drinks.
God.
Oh no.
Tan proceeds to offer some of the sandwich to Gideon. Then
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Are you just like holding it or
No, Gideon will take a bite.
okay.
He is capable of eating.
Yeah. I mean, it's a Cubano.
Yeah.
And according to according to the lore that has been injected into this world, it's quote unquote someone who actually knows how to make it well. So yeah, it's
Well, there's
a
definitely
surprising combination of flavors.
definitely better than almost anything you get in Limbo.
well, you clearly need to spend more time in the fulcrum, but
Well, I meant, fair enough.
That is where a bunch of the chefs live. So.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys are Rake, are you just like continuing to like browse the store, or is there anything you wanted to do, or are we just like
Rego is not the talk person, and none of my skill set really contributes to this. Basically, I contributed by saying, "Hey, Dan, go invisible," and look over his shoulder.
Okay.
That's my contribution.
All right, you're just kind of trying to still look like just a store goer, and while you guys share this sandwich at the counter.
I mean, Gideon has a reason to be waiting here.
Yeah.
Basically, I think while Reiko is doing has idle moments where doesn't have a task to be on, she's kind of noticing okay, this feels a little weird now.
You're physically back in the real world.
Yeah, it's I have had a magnificently quick turnaround on this, and I did it without Buddhism. Take that, Mom.
It has been just over 24 hours since you died. Yeah. It's been about 30-ish hours. No, the time zone difference. Probably about 36 hours. So.
Yeah, so it's just kind of I didn't think you would be back in the living world this quickly. This is a little weird, honestly.
yeah, and small talks being had along all the while. Tan mentioning to Kinsley, so you don't come out here that often, do you?
No.
Is that directed towards me or?
No, to Gideon. Just noticing,
Gotcha.
Well,
not since my change of
promotion?
departments.
Yes. I mean, work keeps you busy. Work keeps you busy. You know.
Yeah, most of my work now is back more in the office area in Limbo.
And then Tan looks over to Reiko. It's like, you holding up all right?
Oh, I'm fine. Just kind of taking things in.
Mm-hmm. I'd offer you a bit of the sandwich here, but I'm not sure how you deal with pork. You know.
I understand why you're saying that.
Well, Gideon is an expert
Reiko's from
at all
Japan
things pig.
and does not have those kind of hang-ups about that kind of thing. So,
I mean, like Tan does offer up a bit of sandwich to Reiko in that case if she doesn't seem to oppose to it.
yeah, sure, she'll have it.
All right. It's
According to Tan's earlier perception roll, this is a good sandwich. So,
yeah. I mean,
I don't know how that works, but
I mean, listen. Perception would be the appropriate role to determine it, right? Because you're using your senses to determine it's there. Perception
I mean,
is.
They might have tried to fake you out with a bad sandwich.
this is an interesting inverse logical application of how senses work. But okay, I'll take it.
It's how well is. I guess the question is, it's how well can the senses determine how good the sandwich is?
That's not how that works.
Well, I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how that's not how it works.
Well, my point is that, like, if you're really good at tasting something, that doesn't make it taste better.
No, it's basically investigation, but with the senses. Is all I'm saying. Like I did not roll the 14 does not deem the sandwich good. It was attempting to determine if the sandwich was good. That's
Okay.
that's. I'm saying it's good because I saw on a list of top Cubano places in Miami. That's.
So you're trusting it.
I'm trusting the source. I'm trusting the reviews, my dude.
You've convinced me that that's how it works. So let's go with that. All right. Meanwhile, Dentalion, make a stealth check with advantage as you are now invisible to sneak into this backroom area without being detected. Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought you were talking to Skitch.
Nope.
No, no.
All right.
Yeah,
Roll it again because that was without advantage.
Right.
Okay. Good.
The first roll is you walk directly into the counter.
You manage to just make yourself invisible and also get back through the front door without it making it obvious that the front door just opened on its own. We can say that, like, one of the other guys, like,
oh, hey, I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
I need some air real quick or something. The air conditioning's getting to me.
you guys managed to think of that, and then Dentine is able to slip in and slip into the back room, look over this guy's shoulder. And yeah, you sit there for a while he just kind of like quite quickly goes through the footage. And he just kind of like is for the most part just kind of keeping on fast forward. Every now and then he'll see someone come up to the store or go by the store, and then he'll stop, go back, play it at normal speed, and then keep on going. I'm going to make a perception check for him, and you can also make a perception check, and you can also make it with advantage because you're literally looking over a security tape.
Gotcha.
That's a persuasion check.
That
21.
21 it is.
So you definitely see this. We're going to have him roll. Oh, that's not what yeah. Okay, so he rolls a 13 and a 1. So
I just realized something. You technically rolled persuasion there, Eric, but it's the exact same roll, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Same bonus.
I'm gonna do a roll for this as well. Wow. Okay. So you notice this before he does, but he does spot it. For those who can't see the board, his roll to notice the roll to cover it up. So that's a tie. So he does see this. It's not like the exterior facing camera is directly pointing at the area that you guys paused in.
Right.
It's around a very small hill, or it's just off to the screen of it. But there is just a brief moment where you see two guys kind of pass by an opening.
Mm-hmm.
Then you, several minutes later, see in the same brief kind of flash, two guys going back the other way that they came from, carrying a blanket between them.
Huh.
Yeah.
And he goes by that, almost misses it, stops, goes back, plays it through several times, and after the first time he plays it through normal speed, he stands up from the booth that he's on, and plays it back twice more, and you can tell that he's freaking out a little bit when he sees this.
Yeah, as right he should.
Yeah.
Shit.
I take it you found something.
So he motions to you, Gideon, that you can come and join him in the booth.
I will No, I didn't follow.
And he'll point out to you what Dan has already seen, and he's like, "All right, so look, yeah, you can see it just these two assholes come by here,
Mm-hmm.
and then it takes a little while, and then they come back. As they're not alone. They're carrying something
Yes,
that they weren't carrying
are.
before, and that looks like it might be big enough to be a
Person, indeed.
yeah.
That is of some significant help. Thank you, sir.
Am I gonna like shit? Am I gonna need to like get a lawyer?
I think you
don't
should
know
be
if-
fine, sir. I would not worry about that unless the police do decide to look into this. I do not know if they will. I'm hopeful that I'll be able to figure out what's going on.
All right. Yeah. You wanna? I can't. Like, I don't really.
Give me a minute. To
I don't have
sort
the.
of-
I don't have the ability to like
right.
pull this to something else for you, but
That's
I guess
fine.
you could like record the screen maybe if you wanted to.
Yeah. Boy. Gideon wishes he had a fake camera at the moment. With a fake phone.
I'll give you this. You can like give me like a luck. You can give me just a straight like luck check. Just roll a d20,
Okay.
and maybe as an investigator, you would have some form of equipment that would fulfill
Sure.
that function for you.
A 14.
You probably have like something to take photographs.
Sure. I will take. Yeah, I'll probably have a small pocket camera or something like that.
Okay.
Actually, given how out of date I probably look, it probably would make sense that I'd have something like that and not like an up to date cell phone.
Sure.
Click.
He again finds this kind of weird, but he's got bigger things on his mind now. So
I'll take a couple
you
of photos. Take a couple of photos of the screen. Stick my little pocket camera back in.
All right.
I will also. By the way, Nick, I want to study the best best image we have of the two of them, so I can sort of like look at them and see if I can try to memorize what they look like.
Give me a perception check. if you would.
Absolutely. Not my best skill, but a 15. That'll take it.
15. Unfortunately, the angles that you guys have and the distance that they're taking, you can't like make out facial features.
Fair enough.
The quality of the camera is
But I can
just-
get sort of general build and height, though, possibly.
You can.
Okay.
And
Clothing details and such.
Absolutely. And we might go over that more later.
I think I'm not asking for the it's just sort of one of those things. Gideon is filing that away.
Gotcha. Ash, you with us, buddy? Ash is currently on mute. Yeah. Given that Ash has been having internet connections and we're basically wrapped up at this location,
Yep.
I think we'll call it here for today.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Because the next leg of this is going to be on stuff that Jerome was following up on, and we can't really do that with Ash
Having issues
right now.
On fire,
issues,
right?
yeah. Fair enough.
So that's unfortunate, but stuff happens.
Yep, it does.
It happened with me a few sessions ago.
That's
and that
fair.
really
Yeah,
sucked.
fair point.
So
Ash,
we're going to start.
unmute.
Yeah, if Ash, you can hear us and you can unmute, I just wanted to check in with you. But if you can't hear me, then that's fine. If anyone else just wants to do anything like before you guys like just like leave the this stall, we could do that. Otherwise, we're going to basically wrap.
All right. I will thank the store owner profusely and say I will also just I wouldn't worry about a lawyer at the moment, but I think you have good security precautions here. You should be fine.
All right. Yeah, and good luck to you.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'll pick up
if you,
the remnant of the case of energy drinks. Look at it. Wonder. Sort of think to myself, I have no idea what I'm going to do with these.
But I'm gonna print out a few things to warn people about this kind of thing.
That's probably a good idea, sir.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you. You take care. Have a most excellent day.
Yeah, you too.
With that, I will turn and walk out of the building. I will also, I will thank Tan for the assistance on purchasing the drinks.
Rigo
Tan
will
is Tan for
follow a little bit out afterwards.
was it?
Rigo will leave out afterwards.
Tan will just say, "Oh, that's what happened there. No big deal." He's also inexplicably drank at least 3 of those energy drinks.
Oh, whatever. You chipped it on them, and Gideon does not care. It's like, oh, someone else drank some of these. Great. I don't have to think about what to do with those bottles.
Skitch, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, I'm definitely drinking a bunch of these.
That is a botch on that there.
Oh, Tan. Everyone realizes that Tan is talking more quickly than he normally does. Also, Tan, their energy drinks, they taste awful. So
They do? Okay.
yeah, I think they do.
I
Personally.
don't have any problem with them personally. I know what to describe what happens with this in terms of that. He has a niacin rush, so his skin feels like it itches, which is a weird sensation to have because normally he doesn't have to worry about his skin feeling like anything. So
Yeah, you are definitely kind of twitchy. Absolutely. So
I can see through time.
not
Tell
yet.
me about that one bit from Henry Stickmin.
I know what you're talking about.
Ooh, sorry about
oh,
that.
Ash. Oh,
Ash,
wait.
you live.
Well,
Are you actually back?
I think I am. Breezeline, Ohio is apparently doing something, so who knows?
Okay. I was thinking because you were having issues that we are probably gonna wrap up. If you're actually back, I could do stuff with you. It's gonna be up to everyone.
If you think we should wrap up, then we can wrap up and we can handle what Jerome was doing next time, or I hope we have better internet.
I think that's a safer bet, anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just in case. Yeah. All right. Sure.
Okay.
And we'll also get into the stuff that Jerome was seeing when he went off and took a look at that parking lot when we come back next time.
Okay.
Well, so that'll be it. Guys, thank you everyone for joining us for this section of the show. We'll be back not next week, but hopefully the week after that to continue this case.
Thank you for watching, everybody. And if you're watching us on YouTube, this was recorded on Saturday afternoon, starting about 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/MechaGM. Come check us out. We do tabletop games on Saturdays in general. Thanks for watching. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.